All right. Welcome back to the Friends of Zeus show or podcast. Um, Tonight, we're going to be talking about, as a launching point more than anything, I think all of us, maybe not Jack, saw this recent movie, Don't Look Up.
I saw.
I was telling Tom earlier, I thought it was fantastic. Best movie of the year, anything, nothing like that, but I could see it getting some nods. It was really well done. And I thought it would be a good launching point for kind of how society is right now. Basically, I'll give the rundown. The main characters.
Hey guys.
Hey Mike, we're on our podcast.
Oh, yeah. By the way, hold on. I'm on my podcast. So
He's got the Jack Daniels. There he goes.
Before I actually go into that, look for us on YouTube on Giants Jack channel. Just type in the Friends of Zeus podcast. It'll come up. Same thing with Facebook. And little update. I've actually put a few of the video episodes on Spotify. So there's like 5 or 6 there. I did those today and yesterday. It's a little time consuming, but I'll be able to get it going now that I'm not in school.
So we're on the same network as Joe Rogan now.
Yes.
We're moving up. Yeah.
Moving on up, Mike.
Yeah, man.
So we're on
We
those.
may meet him in the hallway or something.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. He's really smart. So you can find us on those different platforms, and we'll expand as we can. It's also on a website called Anchor, which actually, if you put it on Anchor, it transfers it over to Spotify. I even have a little poll questions, and apparently somebody answered one of them today. I'm assuming it's Tom since he mentioned it, and he likes to answer.
It's just a test. I don't know if everybody could see it or not, or if just the host could see it.
I just saw that I got an email saying that there was one, and I didn't get a chance to check it yet, but I figured it was probably you. Or this guy, he seems to answer all of them.
What was the question?
With different questions, like for the comic book one, I put who was your favorite. For Rittenhouse, both of those, I was like, what do you think, guilty or innocent? And then on the second one, do you think he should have gotten off or should he have fried?
I got you.
Poll questions.
That'd be great if we can get a poll going.
Yeah. I think every platform we can get on is a little better. Also, a little inside baseball. I found a website that has people that want to come on podcasts, like comedians and doctors and stuff like that. I got one guy that wants to talk about COVID, and he is a doctor, actually. I got a couple comedians that want to come on, and just one of them wanted to talk about something called Project Veritas.
Yeah.
I thought that would be pretty cool. So things are moving. Hey, New Year's resolution was to try and get things moving. It looks like we're doing so. We already got one guest, and I got some lined up.
That's a good topic. It's the Project Veritas. We'd never really talked about that. So he wants to come on and talk about that with us.
He's very interested in it. He's a little high energy, so I don't know how to deliver it to him. I'm the high energy guy. I don't want anybody taking my spot. But point being is he's really high energy. Like, I'm like, slow down. Just listening to his video. And if I'm saying slow down and you're going 75 and a 40,
we'll give him a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, we all watched this movie. I don't know about you, Mike, but we all watched this movie called Don't Look Up. Okay, well, so just has kind of a launching point for the show tonight, because it really had a lot of parallels to like how we are right now. Essentially, the movie, just to give you a brief plot, and there probably will be spoilers because
this was a Netflix production, correct?
Yeah, it was a really, really well done movie. Great actors, good plot. What it was about was the Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence are the two, key players. And they see a comet, and it's heading directly for Earth. And the process of the movie is them basically trying to get it out there to society that, hey, we've got a chance to, send some nukes up. We got all these different things that we could do to fix this situation. We've got time. We've got 6 months. And it's basically pointing out exactly how incredibly vacuous people are right now. It's talking about how the media, it's talking about how the media just goes for the clicks, and they're not really worried about anything. They're just vacuous. I was telling, I think, Mike, I got this weird parallel and it's a loose parallel, but it kind of reminded me of American Psycho in this weird way that like everything was about shit that didn't matter. Like outside of your central characters, it was just these, everybody was talking about, yeah, well, so you're an astronomer. What's it like to see the Milky Way? And like just completely going away from the fact that the world was about to come to an end. But yeah, I thought it was a really good movie, and it really does apply. I mean, even us, we do have our lives, and we are trying to think outside of our own little lives, but we still are like, how can we get more clicks? And it was alarming how accurate the movie was in relation to where we're at now. What did you guys think, Mike?
Me? I liked it.
Mike Brandon.
No, I liked it, and I wasn't expecting not to like it, but I wasn't expecting to like it. I just watched it. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty easy reviewer of films. I mean, if I enjoy the time that I'm watching it, while I'm watching it, and I'm watching it and I'm not looking at my watch and I'm not turning it off and going and doing something else or walking out of the theater, it's a good movie. Like it just, it needs to be what it is for that 2-hour period of time. I thought it was well done. I thought it really hit its stride in the third act when stuff really started hitting the fan. That's a tough balance. I mean, it's basically like an absurdist comedy drama that at the end tries to have a heart, and I think it pulled it off. I mean, and that's a tough thing to do. I mean, there's a bazillion flaws with it. There's a lot I liked about it. The thing that I found interesting, and I had heard about how it was like this, parable about global warming and how and all that stuff. I mean, obviously that's there. If you want to see it that way, you can obviously see it that way. I'm not arguing that. But to me, it was much broader than that. I didn't see it just as being like a parable about global warming. It was more about,
it was a planetary crisis, right? I mean,
right. It could have been anything,
right?
And it's really, the media was really sent up in that as well. I mean, made to look like, fools and everything else. But I was, there was a lot of people in right-wing sites and kind of more right-wing news that were panning it as kind of like, a woke movie, and people on the left saying it was about global warming. Like I said, to me, I think it kind of was kind of down the middle in that. I think it kind of left that open interpretation. I think it says a lot more about the people watching it and reviewing it, what they bring to it. Because I mean, I got a lot out of it. I thought it was hilarious. I could draw a lot of parallels between, media misinformation and social media pitfalls that, I've talked about on the show many times. So, yeah, I thought it was a good movie. Definitely worth the time. The acting was great. I loved finally when DiCaprio, and I'm not an enormous DiCaprio fan.
Oh,
he's obviously, he's a great actor, but I'm not like, I got to see a DiCaprio movie. I mean, he is a great actor. But when he went into like the Peter Finch, network kind of mode at the end, when he was just screaming like, we're all gonna die and all that stuff, I was waiting for that the whole movie. I was waiting for him to kind of uncork that, but anyway, I thought it was good.
The irony of
he stopped taking his
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say he stopped taking his Xanax at that point, Mike.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
The irony of Mike saying that he doesn't have to see a DiCaprio movie. The only movie that Mike and I have ever gone out to see was Once Upon a Time in LA.
Which was Once Upon a Time, in Hollywood. That was great.
Hollywood,
he's a great actor. I love watching him. He was great in The Departed, but he's just not like when a new DiCaprio movie comes out, I'm never like, oh, I got to go see that. But
at this point, I'm convinced, Mike. I used to be like that too, but now every time I see the guy in a movie, I walk away thinking he's really good. Yeah, whether or not I like the movie.
And just for clarity, I'm not poo-pooing Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not saying he's not good.
Yeah. Oh no. Yes, you are. Please come and bash Mike. We need people to bash us.
So what do you guys think?
Mike, well, let me ask you, Mike, because I when I watched it, just the absurdity of it with the gravity of what was going on, did you get a Strangelove vibe off of it? Because I did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought that was cool because, and as far as the movie goes, all I knew about it was the filmmaker who did it had done The Big Short.
Which is great.
I love The Big Short.
Yeah.
And that was about something that had actually happened in history, but from a different perspective that most people can't relate to. And then he did Vice, which I did not see.
It was pretty good.
And that's also about a historical figure. It was kind of stuff that had already happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now this movie was plugged and amped up as from the maker of Vice and The Big Short. And I'm like, well, I like The Big Short a lot because you had an excellent cast. It was sort of filmed and, directed in sort of a quirky way with little clips and little bits of knowledge and strong characters and great acting. And so I didn't doubt the skills of the filmmaker going into it. And then you add DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence and Meryl Streep and Jonah Hill. I'm like, this has got to be a pretty good movie, right? I mean, so I went into it expecting it to be pretty good. And like you said, like I don't think I'd ever like be dying to rewatch it as a film. Like, let me dissect it more than I already did watching it, because it's just an absurd comedy is really what it is. And so as far as absurd comedies go, like you said, I sat through it. I wasn't bored. And it made me laugh at times. It did different things that made me laugh. There were little scenes that I liked in it. And but it was a head scratcher politically.
Yeah.
For me. It was because it seemed pretty clear they were going after the right with the way they depicted the White House administration.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, everything they were going after seemed like it was going after the left in real life.
Yeah.
That's the way it felt
almost
for me.
Yeah, it was almost like
I felt it was very non-partisan. I felt like it was picking on everybody involved. Maybe there was a little slant, but I felt like
I think it picked on all of us as consumers. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, again, it was about the vacuousness of society, how we're looking at our phones and not looking where we're going. Sometimes I swear to God that cell phones were created so that we could improve our peripheral vision. Because I swear to God, who hasn't walked down the street with you looking at your phone and barely miss bumping into somebody? It's an evolution of our vision. I mean, so yeah,
are you doing Donnie Baker there?
No, I don't.
Swear to God. Swear to God.
One more time.
Go ahead.
No, I just feel like I feel like it was really focusing on how incredibly deserving we are of crisis. Like, not one side or the other. I mean, what's his name? Jonah Hill was a complete buffoon in it, but he kind of represented a lot of people that we look at. You know, it seemed that the common man was the person that made the most sense in the movie. When they were down on street level, when Jennifer Lawrence meets the one young guy.
Yeah, the skateboarder.
Yeah, and I even loved the whole, you know what, the whole world's gonna end, fuck it, let's screw. Like the even in the face of imminent doom, there was this selfish quality that honestly, I mean, society is exhibiting a lot right now. I thought it, like I said, brilliant, definitely smart. It's definitely a smart movie. It definitely makes you think. I love the punchline at the end of you got what you know, you didn't pay attention and here's where we are.
And the last man on earth taking a selfie, posting it.
Yeah.
Posting it on the internet.
Hit like and subscribe.
Yeah.
That's probably a commentary on us because nobody's watching, but we keep saying hit like and subscribe.
Well, also, I mean, you know, the thing that, again, when I was saying in the third act, when the Mark Rylance character, who's the tech guy, who I think is that's a great character.
Yeah.
And when he tells DiCaprio that he's going to die alone, and then, you know, DiCaprio ends up, you know, having this dinner like Last Supper with all these, you know, other misfits, people from the movie, his family, and the Chalamet character, you know, says this prayer and everything. I thought that was, you know, it was pretty cool. Like I said, it's hard to go from the beginning of that movie and to that point and pull it off, and they really pulled it off.
Well, I don't want to be argumentative, but
Do it.
I did have some problems with the movie.
Yeah.
It was great. It was very well done. Like you said, the actors were great. The production was great. The direction and everything was great. It was long. When Jack said he sat through it, I had to force myself to get through. It's like 2.5 hours. It got kind of painful towards the end to try to work through this movie.
Wow.
But I thought it's obviously an allegory of, to me, it was obvious that I thought it was an allegory of the pandemic, the coronavirus and everything that's going on with that. And the people that were saying don't look up were the ones that were saying don't take the vaccine. Those were obviously the right-wing guys. They were trying to make them look bad. I thought the president was Trump and the son was Don Jr. So everything was kind of fitting in. I thought the rich guy was kind of a meld of Elon Musk and Joe Biden at the same time, because remember he was sniffing the hair of that one character. He was kind of like an Elon Musk type of guy, but he was really
description.
Old.
That's a
good really old, so it's like a Joe Biden-ish character at the same time. But I thought it was just trying to compare it to the pandemic and the way people were responding to that. I thought it was just it was a way too ham-fisted. I thought it was just hitting you over the head with what they were doing. So but outside of that, I mean, it was, like I said, the acting and everything was great. It was kind of funny here and there. But I thought it was long, and I thought it was a little ham-fisted with the message that they were trying to deliver. So I don't know. It was kind of a miss for me.
It seemed inconsistent too, or it seemed ignorant. Because if anybody's in bed with the government, the media, and big tech, and they're molding our perceptions and they're dumbing us down with bullshit, it ain't the right.
And it's not an accurate portrayal of Trump, because he's not like, Trump is not vacuous. If you come into his office and talk to him, he'll ask you like 1,000 questions, even if it has nothing to do.
Yeah, but they're never gonna give you that.
Yeah,
they weren't giving you an accurate portrayal of that side of it. And the whole kind of show where they were launching the drones and they're shooting off fireworks, it was just so over the top. And I understand they're trying to be over the top, but it was just too over the top.
Oh yeah.
Even for the delivery in the movie, I thought it was too much.
Well, the whole thing was over the top absurd. I mean, and that's why.
But it was kind of
Mike-
accurate in its absurdity.
No, it was a comedy. It's dark comedy. It's trying to be current. I get all that. And then what's funny is like when I said I sat through it, I remember one part, like Mike was talking about the third act having heart, and I did like the final dinner scene.
Yeah.
But when they try to tack on more comedy after that with Jonah Hill and Meryl Streep, like I just didn't give a shit at that point.
Yeah,
Like why not just
End
end
it.
on a somber note where we get the point? And then I got to tell you, going into the third act where it almost lost me, I almost hit stop. There was this montage of what's her name? It was a song number that they did.
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Was that who that was?
Yeah.
Ariana, that's
Oh,
see,
okay.
I don't know who that is. I thought that was an actress, but
Yeah,
apparently
I thought it was just an actress.
so she's really
She's
a pop
the
star.
one that had the bomb go off at her concert that I mentioned a few episodes.
Okay.
And you
So
guys were
she's actually
I thought she was the
all right.
one where the people got crushed at the stage.
maybe.
No. It's
No,
not.
all right.
Like the donuts.
All right, well then credit
Yeah,
to
the
her.
donuts thing as well. Yeah.
Well, credit to her if she's making fun of herself a little bit, just as a pop star. But that whole song sequence with the boyfriend who was proposing, and it was almost like getting through a bad trailer, like when you go to the movies and there's like a 3-minute trailer that you
2.5 hours. Yeah. They could have cut some pieces.
See,
could
I
have
saw that,
and I didn't, and I'm an old guy, so I didn't get the whole gotcha of, oh, this is a real pop star, Ariana Grande making fun of herself. Like if it was
Where she
Britney
had the
Spears,
line where she said, "Shut the fuck up, old man."
yeah, that's why I thought she was an actress. I guess she's pretty good, but yeah, I mean the movie definitely. When you watch it, I had moments like where I reacted like you, Tom, where I was kind of like, come on.
I thought have some more push.
But I did like it. I mean, overall, I'm kind of with Mike. Like I got through it and I enjoyed the acting in it. The acting in it was really good.
I don't remember.
You know, I don't get all the hubbub about it, and I think its message was kind of, I don't know who they're going after. If they're not going after themselves, I don't get it.
think it matches with coronavirus exactly because
Well, okay, so
the difference between a comet, because the
What about
comet's
climate
obviously going to
change?
destroy the entire planet and
Right.
end civilization.
well,
Whereas the pandemic, the whole point is that people know that they think that it's not going to do that.
Mike,
It's
I
completely
mean,
different.
Tom, if
They're
I'm
trying to make it look like, okay, the pandemic could kill everybody, so you should take the vaccine, but that's not the reality of it. It's different from a comet.
Isn't it climate change then?
yeah,
Isn't
it's
it
more
clearly-
climate
Is
change.
it climate
Tom.
change?
Yeah, because
I don't know.
I don't.
I think it's
so, but
obviously pandemic.
Well, now here's the thing.
This is all proving my point.
Leonardo is a huge environmentalist.
Well, why are
See
we
what you
talking?
want to see, right? Mike's got it.
What's that?
No, I'm saying
Mike said you.
that's-
Yeah.
it's proving
Go
the point. I'm saying you can overlay. It's like I read a ton of reviews on this, and it was all over the place. And it's what you bring to it. It's like, yes, everyone was saying it was about climate change, and if you look at it that way, you could see it that way. It's not the way I saw it. It's not. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can see it. You can project anything you want on it.
I guess you can.
I'm leaning towards climate change just based on Leonardo's political leanings. I'm sure he had some.
Well, also the director.
Oh, what about the director?
No, I heard he's a big climate change advocate too.
I mean, if that's what they were going for, I think they swung and missed because it's just not. It's just,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know.
Mike,
At the-
it's a
at the end of the
metaphor
day,
anyway.
Coronavirus isn't going to destroy the planet. However, if climate change is correct, it very well could. Do you see?
The planet will be
think it will
fine.
either. I mean, the temperature going up by 1 degree over the course of 100 years, even that is a leap to say that it'll do that much. But
Yeah.
even that will not destroy the Earth.
Because it'll go down as well. It's a checks and
Yeah,
balances.
there could be another ice age on the way, and there's positive effects of an increase in temperature as well. There's more of greenery on the Earth today than there was 20 years ago.
But so to kind of take it to a different place, it does accurately kind of, and also I just wanted to remark on what Jack was saying. I think it wasn't trying. I don't think it was trying to pick on one side or the other all that much. I think it was picking on society, and at different points, it addressed different faults. It certainly attacked the media, and the people that were
And big
portraying
tech.
the media in this movie were definitely more of what we see in your CNNs and your MSNBCs. I think they attacked everybody. I think it was pretty balanced as far as who they were going after. I think they were just saying, don't look up. Like, honestly.
Yeah, but they were wearing red hats and saying, "Don't look up."
Yeah, but
I mean, they
also-
never actually said Republican or Democrat, but
Of course not.
Yeah, but I think
it was kind of obvious.
How many times have I used the term when I on the show where I'm saying don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain? That's a don't look up. Don't look up at those people that are running things, because at the end of the day, the people that screwed everything up were the people at the top. So if we look at it from that perspective,
Well, they got everybody to look down and put their heads.
But
in
they
the-
had Trump at the
Yeah.
top in the movie, so.
well, is she any less vacuous than was she any less vacuous than Biden or Kamala with their constant, shit they do that doesn't make sense? I mean, this was a case of, in this movie, a bunch of people that had the control, that didn't listen to the people below them and didn't change things. I mean, that's how I saw it. I didn't really see Trump in it. I just saw another fucking idiot in charge. Trump, Biden, whoever.
Yeah.
I didn't
been either
really
one.
I really saw it as a pretty balanced attack at the people in charge, not listening to the people that got them there. That's how I saw it.
I think pointing out how, big tech views itself as infallible, and how they just totally crap the bed, at the end on the solution, like, we're going to do this, and like completely doesn't work. I mean, again, putting reliance on people that say they've got it all figured out, I mean, there's a lot in it. There's a lot there.
Hey, what about
Jack going to.
nice cameo by Ron Perlman as the astronaut too?
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty good.
Probably my favorite part.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
I like it, yeah. And he was just batshit crazy through from go.
Yeah.
Why would you have like a critical, the entire Earth is depending on this guy, and you pick like a 60-year-old out of shape guy to go up? I mean, why would you not pick like a young 30-year-old?
Because he was
Well,
an
it was the
American
thing.
hero.
They wanted a story. They wanted the story.
Yeah, he was an American
Yeah.
hero.
I love
That was
and I
dumb.
love and I do not subscribe to anything that he said, but I love as he's flying off the plane, he's like, let's not forget these people. And I'm not gonna he definitely specified certain types of people, certain races and cultures.
Yeah. No, they said it's like a generational thing or it's an age thing or whatever.
It wasn't negative. He said, like, why don't the Indians in Asia get together, team up with the
Yeah.
Indians in America? Wouldn't that be awesome?
So Mike, you have not seen this? Is that what you have not seen this movie?
No, I have not. Did you guys see it on in the theater or Netflix or Amazon or what?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Saw it on
Okay.
Netflix,
Well, I'll make a point to
unfortunately.
watch it.
Despite the mixed
Yeah.
reviews, it's definitely worth a watch.
I'm not a big Jennifer
Yeah.
Lawrence fan, but I think I can overlook that. It sounds like it's pretty good.
No, it's
That is
Yeah, I typically, when I look at most movies, I expect to see an extreme left wing bias. I'm sure you basically kind of just filter it out if you want to see what the movie.
Yeah, you can do that with this.
Life if you're not a
it's
crazy
not
left wing nut.
like I said. My feeling was that it kind of picked on everybody in charge. I thought it was I mean, I guess I'm the odd man out because I really got a different vibe from it. I thought it was more talking about us, the little people, and how we're not listened to and how it's going to have grave, dangerous effects on society. Maybe not to this level, but I mean, maybe.
I think I'm the odd man. I'm the only one that didn't like it wholeheartedly. I think all the rest of you guys liked it.
I certainly enjoyed it. If it got an Oscar nod, I'd support that. I mean, I don't know if I'd want it to win, but
I think Jack was right in drawing the parallel with Strangelove. It was definitely in that vein, for sure. For me, I mean, just the absurdity of it, how it was over the top so much, and there's such dire things on the table.
Yeah,
I think that's a good comparison.
It was for me. I mean, could it have been done better? Sure. For something you get on a service that provides a lot of pulpy stuff, it was actually way more than all I'm really saying is it was way more than I expected. I expected something different. I didn't expect to have to think when I watched it. I thought it was going to be more, laser blasts and blowing up comets. Like that's all I knew is that was coming, but I didn't realize it was going to be such a statement on how we are as people now.
I thought they left out guns entirely. I mean, this would have been probably because they're leftists, but this would have been an opportunity where guns would have proven themselves worthy. In an end of the world situation, this is when you would want to have a gun, but they left that out of the story entirely. And even like towards the end, they're just walking through a grocery store and there's plenty of food still left on the shelves and they're picking out like salmon and potatoes. I thought like 6 months into the apocalypse, I don't think there's still going to be fresh food on store shelves.
Yeah, but there would be because people ignored it the whole time.
Most of the way, but I think towards the end, everybody was just
toward the end. It was too late. I mean, you know what I mean. And people were looking at the comet, hoping that the Elon Musk guy would save the world. I mean, say what you want, right and left. Like, who are they really going after with this movie? It seems like they're going after themselves, and by that I mean the
establishment. Yeah,
right. But I mean, the idea of the movie is. It's so topical because when you step back, it's like, okay, you have the big tech guy, right? So it's simply big tech and the government and the media are all in bed together to keep us stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the whole movie. I mean, so it's kind of fun to say, oh, is this Trump? And is that Mark Zuckerberg or is that Elon Musk or whoever? But the idea is that we're dumb. Like we as a society are dumb. And it would take something like the end of the world to just appreciate the real stuff. Your family, the food on your plate, saying a prayer. So it was, it was sort of poignant and it was funny. So I mean, like, I'm with you, Mike. I can't take it away. Like would I recommend the movie to somebody who never saw it? Probably. I think I would. I'd be like,
they could have had
unless the
a little
person
more cancel culture in there. They didn't. I don't think they brought that up, but they could have had where anybody that said that there is no comment, they could have had those people getting like banned from social media or something.
Yeah, I mean, then we're talking about an even longer movie. You'd have to cut. You'd have to cut that Nicki Minaj or Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
You'd have to cut Ariana Grande. Whoever the hell it is, that chick.
So are we talking about the end of the world? Are we talking about the media? Or are we talking about movies for the rest of the episode?
Oh, that's a good question.
We're at the
End of
fork
the
in the
world.
road.
What
Yeah,
would
we
you
need-
do?
we need
Okay,
Zeus
if
to
it was
come
the
back.
end of the world, so if you knew you had like one night left,
Jeez.
where would you spend it?
Well, at least they got 6 months in the movie, which I thought was nice.
Well, for the people that knew, yeah.
Yeah, the people that know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to
They tried to tell.
Just go
It's
to
hard-
like a mountaintop somewhere and with a case of beer and just kind of sit down and wait.
I found that when I think about what I'll do in a certain situation, it's a lot different than when I really think about what I would do in a situation. Like, suppose you were in a school or your office or at the mall or a theater and some crazy dude came in shooting, like what would you do? And I've thought about that. But then I've actually been sitting in my office where a disgruntled fired employee came in and was arguing in the office next to mine on the other side of a drywall 2x4 wall heatedly. And then I was like, holy shit, like what am I going to do? Like there's no door, like my
Slowly
office,
lock
I'd
your
have to go
door.
past their office to get out. Like, and the only thing I thought of was like, I would just pretend I was dead on the floor. Like it's my only defense. Like, I don't know, I'm not going to outrun them. I don't have any armor. Anyway, so what I'm saying is there's a difference between thinking about it hypothetically and then like really thinking about it and like, being in the moment.
So that
So-
would be fun. Like nothing happens, but your coworkers come over and you're
I'm like-
laying on the floor. They're like, Mike, what are you doing?
I had a heart
I'm
attack.
pretending I'm dead. Why? Nobody's shooting.
I thought you were going to Kirk out. Yeah, exactly. So
Wow. What would you do last day on Earth, Zeus?
Oh my God. I should probably say spend it with my children. Yes, spend it with my children.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would spend it with Zeus's children as well. They're pretty cool.
They really, so on a little bit off the topic because we do this. So you guys, I imagine you all saw the Max meets Santa Zoom video that I put up.
Mm,
Well,
Yeah.
I heard about it. Yeah.
the comedy of it is at some point Mike was Max goes, I'm not sure you're the real Santa because I saw Santa and he doesn't look like you, and Mike's like, that's my cousin Charlie Claus. Right.
Early clause.
Max has been talking. Mike very well may have started a new myth because Max has been talking about Charlie Claus and how he likes Santa a little bit more than Charlie Claus. He's had all these discussions about the difference between Charlie Claus and Santa, and it's very funny. I guess it's just funny to me. Sorry.
There's you could make a cartoon about that.
Oh my
Red
God.
claws.
Yeah, have them do a comic.
Yeah. Santa's jerk off cousin. Can't keep a job.
Yeah. He's a fill-in.
Yeah, he's a villain.
He's like the double that you'll see, and he's like a body double for Santa, just in case somebody's trying to assassinate him. Charlie Claus
Mhm.
comes up and stands up in front of the audience. He's
He's like Gallagher's brother.
Yes. Come on, Max. Why can't you? You don't know what I'm talking about?
oh
Yeah,
no, it's okay. They didn't shoot Santa. That was Charlie Claus.
that was Charlie Claus. No
I
worries.
know, because Santa called me. It was pretty good.
So I did. I saw West Side Story today.
Oh,
Yeah?
boy.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But I like musicals, so
Oh,
a
wow.
little. Yeah,
Who
It
doesn't
was
like?
Oh, the
beautiful.
new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Spider-Man yet.
I
saw
really
that.
want to see that.
Oh, it was good.
I heard it
It was
was. I
okay.
heard it tightened the bow around a little bit.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything, but it was a little over the top here and there as well.
Oh my God, you're such a naysayer about everything.
Too long? Was it too long?
No,
A little bit.
no,
Was there a song you didn't like?
no,
Was Ariana Grande in it?
no.
Okay.
How would you
everybody
react?
was
No, I mean, honestly,
Too many people in it. Let me just say that.
stop. If you've been following the Spider-Man movies and if you're following this, the MCU stuff as well, but it definitely, if you like the Spider-Man movies of old, you have to watch it. And also, Marvel hasn't exactly been hitting it out of the park lately, so we needed this. We needed a little, like, everything's gonna be okay, guys, movie, and this one delivered. It delivered. Are there plot holes? Yes.
How
Okay,
was,
whatever.
Some big ones.
How is Cumberbatch? Cumberbunch.
Cumberbatch.
He
No,
was
he's
good.
not.
He's
He was
always
great.
good.
He was great.
So here's the question: as someone I'm not into the MCU as much as you guys. Did people know this movie was coming out? Because it was like I never heard of it, and then it was like the biggest thing in the country. Like
Oh,
it
no,
was
it was
selling
tough.
out left and right.
We all
Okay.
knew it was coming out.
Okay, I had no idea.
But see,
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, it was a short build up for me as well.
No,
see,
well, MCU people knew it was coming out, and then when the trailer came out, it was guaranteed blockbuster no matter what.
Well, it has Defoe and it had Octavius, and who's the other guy? Who's the other?
And
Bad
the,
guy they brought
the
back?
lightning guy. It had the
Electro.
Sandman.
Electro,
Yeah.
Sandman,
Had
Lizard,
Hobgoblin. Yeah, had a bunch of guys.
Green Goblin, Lizard.
The lizard. Yeah.
Did they
I'm
let
excited about
Defoe like? Did you get to see Defoe, or did they
Yes.
cover up his face again?
No, Defoe
Oh,
acts.
Okay.
yeah, he was a
I
big.
mean, I
part
love
of it.
Defoe, but in that movie, when he was a Green Goblin, like you couldn't see him. I was like,
No,
that's a horrible costume.
No, there were a lot of scenes with Norman Osborn in the original Spider-Man. He got to show his chops in that movie.
he was great. I thought he was a terrific Green Goblin, actually.
Yeah, me too.
In the original. The funny thing is, and going back to this whole vacuous looking at our phones thing, since that came out, they've been doing all these Defoe dressed up like a woman for some reason. I mean, I know it's a reference to what was it? It's a great movie. The Two Irish Kids.
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints, one of my favorite movies of all time. Such a great movie. But there's been a lot of pictures of Defoe done up like a woman, as in Boondock Saints, and I was wondering if there was a connection to that with this movie, but I doubt it. Did they
I remember.
computerize him?
No, not really.
I
Okay.
think so. No.
Yeah, yeah. You
No.
can't go wrong with Defoe. I've loved that guy since this movie. You either loved it or hated it. It was called To Live and Die in L.A. It was such a great movie at the time.
It's going back. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember Platoon.
Oh God, yeah. He's amazing. Boondock Saints is probably my favorite performance by him.
Well, it's definitely a performance. I mean, like it's a very over the top movie. It's very stylized.
Yeah, and that's isn't Norman Reedus in that from Walking Dead?
Mhm. Yep.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, he was young.
Yeah, and it was him, and then the other guy was the one that did that movie Powder. Remember Powder?
Oh wow.
The one
Yeah, that was a ways
I
back.
guess it was done by, I guess the guy's a
Or the
legitimate
child. Yeah.
child molester.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Victor
lot of,
Salva.
yeah, a lot of weird parallel or a lot
Well, I
of
like
weird-
Victor Salva. He's a great director.
what else
child-
has he done?
Child molesting aside, he's molested children. That's what else he's done.
If you can get
Put
past
that
the
aside.
child molesting.
It's like,
What movie was Powder?
remember the kid, the student that was like all white. Remember?
Super pale.
So they kind of picked on him.
He
No,
got
I
hit
know-
by lightning or something, and
Oh,
He
vaguely.
looked like a ghost.
Yeah, vaguely. I do remember something.
yeah,
like
that was the other guy.
right.
Did anybody now? Here's the real question. Did anybody see Boondock Saints 2?
No.
Really stunk.
Didn't know there was a Boondock Saints.
Apparently, no one saw it.
Like
Yeah.
they took everybody out of it. It wasn't the brothers anymore. It was Lolita Davidovich was the is that her name, Lolita Davidovich?
Is it a good movie?
Sounds right.
She played the Willem Dafoe character. The two brothers are out of it. The one kind of crazy guy that they dragged around with them everywhere, he was the only one that was left in it. And Billy Connolly was also left in it. It seemed like most of the movie was just supposed to be a Billy Connolly vehicle, which, don't get me wrong, the guy's great. He's hilarious. And he was great in the first one. What was he, El Duce?
It's your movie.
No, the first. Billy Connolly was at the end, wasn't he?
No idea, dude. I haven't seen that movie in like how many years?
Been a
Yeah,
long
I'm pretty
time.
sure he was at the
Been a
end,
long time.
and he was like the guy that came in and kind of cleaned everything up. But yeah, it was horrible. I watched it only because I loved the first one so much, and I felt like I owed it that much to finish it. But it was abysmal. It was horrible.
So what can we say about the end of the world? Like, so what would you guys do? Or like,
Oh,
what are ways the world would end?
I have a random thought though, as far as movies and end of the world.
Okay.
Because we're talking about movies before we move on. I remember there's certain scenes that you see in movies that just stick with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of you guys have seen a movie called Signs with Mel Gibson.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I love that.
Right. It's a great movie. Totally underrated. Probably
It's fantastic.
I prefer. I think that's my favorite Shyamalan movies. Not that that's saying a whole lot because he's made a lot of crap.
Hey
Wow.
Jack, may
But,
I
Unbreakable?
interrupt for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just curious. I want to see if there's a linear thinking here, because I'm betting the scene for you is the same one for me. Can I say the scene that I'm thinking of?
Is it in Rio?
Well, no, I'm talking about the end of the world scene, like where basically when I'm talking about the part that made me think of it. I actually thought of it when I watched the end of Don't Look Up.
Okay.
When the family, when they're sitting down having that dinner together and deciding to pray,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
it reminded me of Signs. There's that ending which is like so well done, where Mel Gibson's convinced they're all gonna die.
Oh yes. Yeah, they're eating, like they all pick their favorite meals
They all
and he
pick their
cooked
favorite
whatever they
meals,
wanted.
Everybody's crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great scene.
See,
Yeah.
the
And you-
scene that
And you just
That's-
think like you actually think what it would be like if you're with your family knowing.
And I
that-
think that's what it
Yeah.
would be more. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people would do that.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, again, depending on how much time you have to think about it, because there's
Did
really
it-
nothing you can do.
Did it remind anybody of Endgame? Like
I
when
was
the
just gonna
people were
mention Endgame.
disappearing? Oh, because that's what I kept thinking when they were kind of like rumbling and there was kind of like the dust and it seemed like they were about to, turn to dust.
Yeah,
Well-
and you know what? I'm such a sucker that I kept hoping that something good would happen. Like I'm like the comet's gonna miss,
Right. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
yeah.
right? Or maybe they broke it up into enough pieces where
Yeah.
they survive somehow, or because you get invested in the characters even in such a lighthearted, silly movie as Don't Look Up, which it is silly,
Mhm.
It's definitely. Yes,
Yeah.
you're dead on, because I kept thinking that it was gonna go the path of maybe everybody would realize that we're all acting like assholes and trying to be a little more kind, things like that. The funny thing about what Tom said though with Endgame, the part for me that I thought of with that was when he's teaching his daughter how to shoot the bow,
Mhm.
and then he turns around, they're like, hey, you want mustard on that? You want mayonnaise on that? And he turns around and nobody's there. And I was like, wow, that's pretty. No wonder he went dark. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, he went
and then
dark.
everybody disappears. But
There was a reference to signs in the Don't Look Up movie. Remember?
What?
No.
Yeah, they were like interviewing somebody and he had a signs poster behind him on the wall.
Yes.
They mentioned it.
yes.
Oh, really?
We were like, how can I take you seriously? You've got a signs poster behind you.
Oh, I totally missed that. That's awesome.
And see, when Jack was talking about signs, the scene that I mean, I guess it doesn't apply with what we're talking about, but the scene in that movie that always was like the best scene in the whole movie for me, and it was Joaquin Phoenix before I liked him as an actor. There's this
Right.
scene where
I know
they're
what
watching
it
the
is.
TV,
Yes.
and the
Rio.
alien walks out into the alley,
Alley.
Open.
and he
Yeah.
does this
And
like,
he's like,
yeah, just his reaction was so visceral. It was like
Right.
it,
Right.
it wasn't anything over the top. He just took a deep intake of breath, and it was like, wow, that's exactly how a person would react.
I love it too because he's watching the footage and there's all the Spanish kids blocking the camera and he's like, "Come on, vámonos, vámonos."
Oh man,
it's great.
that part,
Such
that
an underrated movie.
maybe one of the best. Here, since we're way off the subject that we started with. That scene was one of the best pieces of
We
acting.
jumped off.
What's that?
So we jumped off. We started it and
actually, I thought of something. If it was like a comet or an asteroid strike, like in Deep Impact when Tia Leone and Judd Hirsch go out on the beach or whatever. I will say I would definitely be outside. I definitely would not be hiding in the basement because if something like that's going to happen, I want to see it.
Yeah,
I want to see
I want to see it, man. I would be outside. I would be like facing whatever direction it was supposed to be.
It's
All right,
definitely,
well, let
it's
me
definitely
ask
going to
you,
be one of
Vern.
those moments where it answers your question as to whether there's a God or not, because you're going to be standing out there going, "All right, he's going to stop this anytime now."
Any second now.
Any
Wait a
minute.
minute. Wait a minute, Mike. If it's going to be a nuclear blast,
Right.
okay, let's
Well,
say
then I would. You can survive those.
All right, so
Sure.
you
Not
would
if you're
hunker
standing
down.
outside, I don't think.
If it
No.
was if it was a global like like Earth ending event, like an asteroid hitting the Earth or something, yeah, I would be outside. If it was, nuclear weapon, depending on where I mean, I'm right by DC. We're all by DC. Well, not all of us, but Jack, you're by New York. I mean, we're all toast.
Yeah, we're
So-
all toast.
Yeah,
That I don't know if I need to be outside for that. I don't think that would be as beautiful. But like an asteroid hitting,
Right.
that's nature, right?
You
That's
need to stand behind like
that's
the
going to be a little
I
prettier.
just wanted
stand
to
behind a church
clarify.
people, because that's
Yeah.
whenever there's like a tornado or something and everything gets decimated, the only thing left standing is that one church steeple. So
Mhm.
stand right there.
Oh, that's another great end of the world final sequence in a movie. There was a movie that came out, I want to say in the 50s. Mike, you're probably smarter than I am when it comes to the older movies. There was a movie called War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't mean the Tom Cruise one, which
Yeah.
I actually
It was good.
I like that
liked.
one. Yeah,
I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
But the old one, I can't think of the lead actor, but they all the people that are basically expecting to be
wasn't it
wiped
Rod
out end up-
Steiger?
No, it was Gene Barry who
Gene
played.
Barry.
I totally blanked
There you
on that.
go,
Good
Mike.
going, Mike.
It was
Coming in the
Gene
clutch.
Barry.
Mike saw it in
I
the
waited a whole hour to pull through with that one.
Now, but that movie, that movie is a great movie. Totally recommend the original War of the Worlds. And
Yeah,
at the end, everybody ends up in the church. I do remember that when the alien spacecraft is coming down. I think it's in New York City. I could be wrong.
I think it was
And,
outside of New York.
No, I
There's no
mean,
churches in New York
I'm
City. are
saying
there?
I think the church was St. Patrick's Cathedral in,
Oh, okay.
in Manhattan. I think because the aliens are basically about to destroy, whatever they haven't destroyed already. It's a very I can't recommend it more. It's a fun old sci-fi. It's in color, great special effects for the time.
Well, for,
and acting, not
And-
like computer graphics. It was acting.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, and yeah, they didn't have CGI and shit. They had to use
Yeah.
models. And
Yeah.
it was really well done.
it's funny how some of them continue. Like another great one, I think probably earlier. I don't know if it's earlier or later, But Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original of that
Oh, yeah.
is
Oh, great, yeah.
freaking amazing.
Yeah, man.
But I
Scary
will say that the 1970s/80s version with Donald Sutherland
Yeah, good remake.
is
Yeah.
one of the best remakes of a movie ever made.
I agree. It's in my top 50 horror movies, no doubt. And I love the original.
I even
That was like one of the first horror movies I saw was the Sutherland Body Snatchers.
Yeah, all of us, right? Our age
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
For what it's
It was
worth,
on-
actually, the Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman did a version of it. Not as good as the other ones, but it
I never
wasn't
saw that
bad.
I never
It
saw
was-
that.
It was pretty good. It was.
Is it
a
just called
different-
Body Snatchers? It's not Invasion. Is it just
I
called?
think it was called
Body
The
Snatchers?
Invasion or something like that.
Oh.
But it was
It
a
was called The Invasion.
decent movie. But Daniel Craig, man, that guy, he's great. So is Nicole Kidman. So, but
Yeah, but he's dead now.
yeah,
Oh, you know what? You know what I saw, Mike? You talked about going to the movies. I saw Denzel Washington doing Shakespeare.
Oh, I want to see that. Yeah, my
That is
wife didn't want to see
great.
that.
Yeah, it's
Ethan
definitely
Cohen.
you gotta be ready for real Shakespeare. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't mess with the dialogue. It's the play.
No,
what is it,
that's one of my
Othello?
Macbeth.
It's worth, I think, I'll tell you, I really do think Shakespeare's worth the time. It's worth putting up
Mhm.
with the hard language.
Oh
It's
yeah.
worth having the book open so you can understand it. I love it.
There's a reason it survived.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
And even, I mean, I saw West Side Story, which is basically Romeo and Juliet. So
And
I mean,
That's
just some of the lines in those plays are phenomenal. I mean, really, I can't imagine where the English language would be without him. I mean, the This England soliloquy, the Henry V, Band of Brothers. I mean, God, they're
How about-
phenomenal.
well, him,
So-
Aesop, as much as I hate him, Dickens. I just don't like Dickens. I
Dickens
just think Dickens is a dick. I don't.
he's a dick, but boy, he's got a sense of humor.
He
I
did.
like Dickens.
My favorite line from him ever was when he's talking about children like dying. He says, "It's just a decrease in the surplus population." My dad
Yeah,
used to say that to me when I was a kid,
Right.
and I was like, it took me a while, but I finally got what he was saying. I was just so offended by my dad. He was usually saying that about certain people.
Right.
So-
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
so Jack, I gotta know,
a spot of mustard that's gone bad.
just out of curiosity. So I mean, it's Ethan Cohen. It's not. I don't think his brother's.
No,
I don't think Joel Cohen's in it. But
No,
does
I
it
think-
feel like a Cohen Brothers? I mean,
No, it's the director. I think it's Joel Cohen is the
Joel
owner.
Cohen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very. You can tell that it's the visionary. It's the director
Yeah.
who basically took the reins. Without the writer brother, because he didn't need a writer. I mean,
He's got Shakespeare.
got Shakespeare. But it's very stylized. It's very simple. It's the costumes are simple. The settings, you don't see even a lot of furniture. It's kind of like watching it on stage.
Gotcha.
Wow, that's
You
cool.
sort of you recreated like a stage play. I mean,
So wait, so
there's some
so-
outdoor shots, but even those sets look fake. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
what I
it's-
heard, is that the sets look fake. That was my next question, which was
Yeah.
like purposeful, you know?
Yeah.
So wait, nobody went to go see Matrix Resurrections? Yeah.
I'll wait for it to come on the UHF.
I
channel.
have the feeling that I'm going to stick by my original argument that all you needed was the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was something called the Animatrix, which basically answered all the questions afterwards. Animatrix is a solid animated movie, and I don't like animated movies at all. And Animatrix is ridiculously good, but because it's so much about story, and you don't get wrapped up in the animation after a while. But yeah, I feel bad because Keanu I feel like I like the guy. He's had a tough life. He's done some good stuff, and now he's doing like Bill and Ted.
Tough life. What?
He's had a tough life.
He's
Nah,
had a
his
tough
sister.
life.
No, didn't like his sister and his his first wife like die horrible. He's had some bad shit happen to him. If it's all true, assuming it's all
Yeah.
true. No,
Well,
he's
his
had-
English accent from Dracula was pretty bad.
that is what I get angry about him with. Dracula, you're a most non-heinous dude.
Bastard. He's a bastard.
No, he single-handedly torpedoed an otherwise great movie. I mean, I'll never forgive him. I'll never forgive him for Jonathan Harker. I can't.
Yeah.
I love
Dracula,
that
you
movie.
shall back off, or I will so drive a stake through your heart.
Dude.
Terrible.
Right?
And it was like the best actor with the worst
Oldman.
actor. Gary
Yeah.
Oldman and him.
Yeah.
Here's my theory, and it's not my theory, but it's one I heard, and I'll take it as mine now because I don't remember who said it. If you give Keanu a movie where he can get away with like a surfer voice, he's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Wick. All right, whatever.
Good, he's good. Yeah.
Bill and Ted, except for this last
Right.
one, it was horrible. But the first two Bill and Ted's funny fucking movies. Point Break, brilliant.
Point Break is a great movie.
Point Break is
Yeah,
solid.
it is.
How about, and this is a good one, Jack. I bet Jack's seen it. I can't speak for anybody else, but it was this like Shakespearean one with him and River Phoenix. It was the last movie I think River Phoenix did.
What, Much Ado About Nothing? I saw that.
I gotta look this one
Keanu
up.
was in that.
Yeah, Keanu sucked in that too.
Yeah.
No. I'm actually gonna take time from the show to look for it on my phone because I bet.
How about-
you guys?
One movie I've been wanting to see, and I got to look it up. I just hadn't thought about it in a while, but is River's Edge with Crispin Glover and Keanu Reeves.
Oh, you never saw that?
No, I've seen it, but it's been like 25 years since I've
Yeah.
seen it.
That movie was like a staple. We used to watch that movie all the time.
Oh,
back
River's
in the day.
Edge is amazing.
Glover is great in
Glover
that. Oh, he's fantastic in that.
Yeah, he's great.
Was that the one where
Man. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
Jack, you'll know
he's
this
gonna
one.
like
My Own Private
there's
Idaho.
a dead body. The one guy kills a girl down by the river. And
Yeah, it's a
they
great.
go to see the body.
It's a great coming of age movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't we
no,
all
I-
do that?
I'm just saying,
it was
I haven't
called-
seen it streaming. I haven't seen it available anywhere.
You know what?
Like,
There's so many movies from the 80s that you just cannot find now. It's like the same company owns the rights to all of them, and they're all just gone.
yeah.
How about
No, yeah.
Jack? So the movie was My Own Private Idaho, and it was
I
fucking
saw-
amazing.
Yeah, I saw that a long time. Isn't Joaquin Phoenix in that too?
No, it's
No,
River Phoenix. It
River
was the last
Phoenix.
Oh,
movie.
it's River. It's River Phoenix. Yeah, I haven't seen that since whenever that came out. Dude.
But you remember, I mean,
who's that director?
Yeah, I remember it.
it
I'm trying
was.
to remember that director, man. What's his name?
I'm gonna
He
find
did all
out right
kinds
now.
of stuff.
Oh, goddamn, my bladder.
Mike
I
Waters.
got a movie. I'm gonna look up a movie too.
No,
Let's all look up movies.
his name begins with a G.
When you guys are looking up movies, I got to tell you the one I saw that I was
Hey, hold on,
impressed
Mike.
how
Hey, guys,
good it
I'm on my
was,
podcast.
and that was Kingsman. Kingsman. It's a prequel, but the thing I really
Gus
loved
Van
about
Sant.
it is they are
Mm.
so dead accurate on all their historical references. It
What's it
takes
called
place
again?
About the start of World War One, and it's dead perfect.
What was
What's
the
it called
name of
again?
it?
The
The
Kingsman.
Kingsman. You know the Kingsman
Oh.
series? This
Yes,
is a
yes.
prequel. It's like how it began. And it
Oh,
began
okay.
about the World War One era.
Is it new?
And it was very good, I thought.
Is that the new one? That
Yeah.
just came?
It
Okay.
just came out.
I didn't know it was a prequel.
Yeah, I don't think I saw the most recent one.
The second
I
one
will
was
say
like-
this. I will say this, and you don't have to like musicals, and you don't have to like West Side Story, but
I don't like West Side
it-
Story.
it cements Spielberg. I mean, he is just. I told my wife when we left the theater, I was like, I feel like I just watched like a world class gymnast. I felt it's like watching Michael Phelps swim. It's like you're watching someone at the peak of their powers, just knocking it out of the park. I mean, even if you don't like the story or don't like the movie, it's just gorgeous. It's beautiful.
So
It's
here's my
amazing.
thing.
Movie.
When I was a kid, the reason I like musicals is because my parents, I watched West Side Story. I watched the original Little Shop of Horrors, which
Yeah.
amazing. Jack Nicholson, I think it's his first movie.
Wait, that's not a musical.
No,
Little
but,
Shop
but,
is.
Not the
But-
original.
Oh,
but
not
they
the
made me
original.
watch it later when the Rick Moranis one came out, which is a brilliant movie. Steve Martin's great in it. Everybody is great in it. But they made me watch the original so that I'd understand the I guess 80s version.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good musicals. Moulin Rouge, I'll swear by that movie all day long.
Yeah.
And one that you guys probably haven't seen, if you ever get a chance, you have to see Once. Once is the best musical I've ever seen.
Once.
It's
Like once, isn't that like
got an Oscar.
Is that La La Land?
like 15 years ago or something?
Mhm. The story behind it is it's Glenn Hansard is the protagonist of the movie. He wrote it, directed, did all the music for it. The soundtrack is amazing. But there's a movie, if you ever saw it, called The Commitments back in like early 90s.
Oh yeah.
And he's the guitar player. And first of all, I love The Commitments. It was all Wilson Pickett songs. How can you not like it? They're singing Mustang Sally, It's a great movie. Anyway, he was a guitar player in that, and apparently he was like a big driving force in it. Oh my God, Tom's at the movies.
Yeah. He's having popcorn, man. It's freaking great.
But Once, if you haven't seen it, it starts off and you just can't stop watching it. The music is so good, and there's little tidbits in it. Like if you can, I happen to be able to speak a little Polish, so there's a scene in the movie that's like pivotal. But if you don't understand it, then the movie loses like a lot of its impact. And it's just one line. It's equivalent to like the sign scene where he sees the alien and those little tiny scenes. And another one I was going to mention earlier is it's a horrible movie with Richard Gere and Sean Connery, First Night, something like that.
Oh man.
Now the movie
yeah.
is horrible, but there's this one scene where Sean Connery dies at the end, right? And it's just the shift of his eyes from like being conscious to being dead. Do you know the scene I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. I saw it like 700,000 times because we were running it at a theater I was projecting.
You know what I'm talking
at,
about? There's that one scene.
Yeah.
Why?
What?
I was going to ask you why.
Yeah, no, I saw it so many millions of times, or
Mike,
parts
you know
of it
what
at
I'm
least.
talking about? There's the
Yes, I
one bit
do.
of brilliance in the whole movie is Sean Connery dies, and it's just the change of his eyes. Like he's such a good actor that he just did something with his eyes, and you go, "Wow."
The other thing that was cool in that movie was like there's a battle scene where all these dudes are in armor, and I think they did it like a day for night shot, which in the 90s was kind of passe. But the just like the blue dark sky with like the glinting, armor and everything, like Braveheart or whatever, like coming over a hill. It was gorgeous. It was a great shot. I used to just sneak in just to watch that one shot.
Since we've gone so far off the rails with this one, we really should do an episode on like those types of scenes. We'll revisit this, of course, but like those little tiny bits and something that may have been a piece of shit, but there was just this one part in it. Like Dogma has a ton of them. Dogma is a great movie for like going, holy shit, that's brilliant.
When you work at a movie theater and you're seeing the same movie over and over and over again, people that work there, not just projectionists, handy girls, the ushers, the box office people, they know you can hear the movie playing. And I worked in a single screen theater, so it's one movie. But people would go up to the doors to look in at certain times to see certain things. Like when Titanic came out, everyone wanted to see the scene where the ship is upended and the guy falls and then he hits the propeller and then spins. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Everyone had to see that, man. People would be like up at the oh yeah, there he goes again. Anyway, all kinds of scenes like that, man. Like where people would like go in and see the same thing over and over again.
The comedy of Titanic for me was I always looked at it like I looked at Full Metal Jacket, where you're watching two movies. If with Full Metal Jacket, the first movie is basic training, and then the second movie is in Vietnam. And with Titanic, the first half was for the girls, and then the second half was totally for the guys, where it's just like women and children first, Jack dies, a typical woman gonna let him die, blah, blah, blah. Like it was all these just awful scenes at the end that fulfilled our needs as men to just rant and go off about it. It was the only reason I liked it was the last part. The first half was like, whatever, who cares? Your arms are spread out. Throw out the diamond, you dummy.
Yeah, they should have done away with the whole thing with the old lady and the excavation of the boat. They should have just done away with all that. It should have started when the boat was about to take off, and it should have ended when the boat sank.
They had to add that whole framing story.
Oh, it was terrible. The old lady in her onesie walks out onto the deck, and she throws the diamond off the... I was laughing. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be laughing.
Hey, Mike Nelson, you were on the Titanic. What was it like?
It was really hard getting in a lifeboat.
Mike was on the Carpathia, I think.
You had to masquerade as a woman to get on one.
How many kids did you push over, Mike?
Yeah.
Good job,
Him
Mike.
and the Green Goblin. They were
Yeah.
both dressed up as women.
Yeah, good job, Mike. We're glad you did.
You made
So
it.
I have to bring something up that's not because I don't know when Jack could be like saying, "Okay, boys, any moment now," and I had to get this in this week.
Yeah.
So, did you see this story? And I'll send you guys a link to the video. Out in LA, it was like 2 days ago. This guy's flying a little Cessna, and he crashes in LA in an intersection on train tracks, right? And 5 minutes later, a train comes by and just destroys the plane. So he crashes.
pulled the
The
guy
police
out?
are called. The police
pulled him out?
pull the guy out. I mean, you can see on the video, literally with like, what, 10 seconds to spare? 5 seconds to spare. And this train comes full speed. I mean, full speed. This thing must be going like 60 miles an hour. Just obliterates the plane. I mean, and so this guy, and he's all bloody. They're pulling him out. He's probably like in his 60s or something like that. And I'm like, you're flying, you crash your plane in a road on train, and then a train. I mean, that guy's got to go play the lottery. It's incredible. You couldn't make it up. If it was a movie, you'd be like, there's no way this would ever happen. I'll send you guys the link.
No, I saw it, Mike. It was amazing.
Okay.
I saw it too. They had the body cam footage from one of the
Yeah.
From
cops.
the cops.
Yeah.
And
As
you
soon-
can-
Send it to
It's-
me. It
Okay.
sounds like in Los Angeles, probably like a bunch of wannabe screenwriters where it's just
No, this was a very real moment.
you got to see.
No, I know
yeah,
they want to make it into a movie though.
You got to see.
I don't know
it.
if
It's
you can
awesome.
make a movie about a train hitting a plane and fill 2 hours with it.
I don't know. You can make a movie out of toys like Transformers. I think you can make a movie out of anything.
Yeah, maybe the
Make a
guy.
movie out of a guy driving or a woman driving a bus.
Maybe
for 2
the-
hours.
Maybe the pilot has a very interesting life.
Okay. I just sent the story, and the video is embedded in it, Tom.
Alright.
So you should
Thank you.
watch it live on it because it's only like 2 minutes long. You should
This
watch
is
it while we're-
easily, just to throw it out there, this is easily the most off the rails show we've ever had.
Tangent alert. Tangent.
This
What was that?
Let's call
We
this
stuck
good.
to movies pretty much the whole way.
Yeah,
Well-
I think we started out with a movie and our discussion turned into other movies. I think that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. And then, I'm talking about something that happened in LA that was like a movie.
Yeah, that's
So
Hollywood.
everything in
Yeah.
it was like a movie. All right, Jack, I think you got some words for us, I think.
Yeah, no, guys, I think we've been on for a long time now. I think it might be time we just wrap things up.
Let's
and what do we got next week?
We have a guest, I think, right, Zeus?
Yes, we do.
That's the week after.
And everybody
the
stay on when we're
25th.
done here because I got a couple things to talk about.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
Well, I don't know what we got going on next week, but we'll figure it
It'll
out.
be a surprise.
Yes, as always.